Joining us now is Texas Congressman Louie Gohmert. Good to see you, Congressman. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to see you, Marie.
What's your take on this whole veterans conflict? Does Donald Trump have a point?
Well, Donald Trump does have a point, and I'm not one of his bigger fans. But, hey, it's a good day for me if sleaze is the worst thing I'm called. But as far as Trump, I mean, for heaven's sake, he did raise money for the veterans. He's right. I mean, if you look at the veterans at Benghazi, we still don't know. Did Hillary go to bed and let them die? Did she stay awake and let them die? I mean, what was going on? We still don't know. So it's kind of hypocritical. And if you look at the thousands of the 1,000 or so FBI files that were in the Clinton White House. I can't forget that because my friend Chuck Colson went to prison for one. They had 1,000. Some of them were veterans. They were using them for, well, it's just illegal to have them. So anyway, you can go back any which direction you want to. She has not been helpful to veterans. She has not stood up for them when the VA was making long lines. Yes, she's Secretary of State, but she's a cabinet member. And somebody, for heaven's sake, in the Obama administration should have stood up in one of the cabinet meetings and said, for God's sake, we ought to be helping the veterans. Quit letting them die. Yeah. She was never there for the veterans, so it's a little weak now if that's what she's going to raise. But I do disagree with Donald Trump in his saying we don't need a third party, because I think we desperately need a third party, because Bernie Sanders has been jerked around. He needs to have the nomination from the third party and be the third party's nominee. He'd be great.
But wouldn't a third party take votes away from Donald Trump and the Republicans?
Not if it's Bernie Sanders, no.
Yeah, okay, not if it's Bernie Sanders. I want to get back to the press comment, Dagan, because even, you know, yesterday, Jerry Brown basically supporting and endorsing Hillary Clinton, and it all, you know, people started talking about the relationship between Jerry Brown and the Clintons over the past, and they had that big debate, Clinton and Jerry Brown, where Jerry Brown basically said there are massive conflicts of interest. You know, back then, in 1992, Dagan, and now here comes Jerry Brown endorsing them, but no comment from the press. And so they're all over Donald Trump about his, you know, donations. And we know that Hillary hasn't given to the veterans. And no commentary, no reporting from the press on the other issue, and that is around the Clinton Foundation and the conflicts there. What do you think about that?
And the email scandal. But I think that, so Donald Trump got upset, and he pointed out that, you know, hey, you guys need to be, I'm just giving money to veterans. You guys need to be shining a light on what the Clintons have been doing for the last how many decades,
and if you will.
Exactly. And so that works to his advantage. But I want to ask Congressman Gohmert, because Donald Trump, the only issue is it's funny because it certainly did really well for him during the primaries to go after the sleazy mainstream media, if you will. Does it help him in a general election, you think? Because I looked at that and said, if you hate the press so much, stop caring about the press. The fact that he got so upset is like, you kind of care too much about all those people sitting out there with their recorders and on their phones and taking notes.
Dagan, I thought it was a mistake, but I spoke after him in Nashville last fall, and he spent an hour of his hour and 10 minutes just talking about the press and how they had done him wrong. I followed him and thought, this has got to be a death knell, and it actually worked. I can't explain that. But, yeah, you're right. It's the kiss of death for Trump now that Governor Moonbeam has endorsed Clinton. I mean, wow, with all of the Moonies following him, you know, wow, can Trump have a chance? I think he can.
Mike Murphy.
Congressman, when you see what Donald Trump's doing now, and he's really, you know, he attacks everybody out there, but when it comes back at him, it seems like his skin is a little bit thinner when people are firing back at him. But I just think if you could speak to the mainstream media in the form of one Jeff Bezos. You know, this was big news earlier in the week, and he just made no bones about it that he's out through the Washington Post to dig up dirt on Donald Trump. So that's not the normal type of actions you receive from the press, right? I mean, it is specifically targeted.
The only thing that's not normal from the Washington Post is that they actually admit that they're doing nothing but trying to dig up dirt on a Republican. That's the real shocker there, because that's what they do. They put lots of media on conservatives and especially Republicans that that is nowhere near what they do to Democrats. But I mean, they're in the Democrats' corner. So the big shock, wow, they actually admitted it. I got to give that to the Post.
He should explain.
One for them.
Congressman needs to explain, because you're dating yourself, and I knew what you were talking about. But Governor Moonbeam is the old nickname for Jerry Brown. It was coined in the 70s because California was so wacky with environmentalists. It was coined by a Chicago columnist.
Yeah, it was funny that you referred to it that way. But look, to the point that you're making, I mean, Donald Trump has been transparent throughout his campaign. Like it or not, he's transparent. He gave at least 4 formal press conferences this year. Hillary Clinton hasn't given any press conferences in 2016, Congressman. I mean,
well, she will give interviews as long as they give her the questions in advance, and they're puff questions. It's outrageous that she has any room to say anything about press coverage.
And yet, you don't see that kind of, you don't see the 20 reporters on the Clinton Foundation. So there is some truth to what he's saying.
Absolutely. No, it is. There absolutely is. And people are seeing that, and that's why he's done so well. You know, I didn't support him in the primary, and I haven't. I mean, I'll vote for him if he's the nominee, but and it looks like he's definitely going to be. But for heaven's sake, this is just outrageous for Clinton to say anything about press coverage, and for her minions to say anything about it. You know, Trump's right. I mean, where is what she's done for veterans? It's just non-existent. But by the way, Governor Moonbeam came back. I mean, that phrase came back when he ran again, and the whole world was mystified. Governor Moonbeam is back.
By the
Holy
way,
cow.
Can he beat Hillary Clinton, do you think, Congressman? Because I know you're not all in right now. You're not endorsing, so you'll vote for him if he's the nominee. Do you think maybe he won't be able to beat Hillary Clinton?
Well,
is that way?
I think you know, it's yes, he can beat Hillary Clinton, but it's up for grabs. And the one thing we know, the adage is correct. Democracy ensures people are governed no better than they deserve, and absolutely 100%, we're going to get who we deserve, whoever it is.
Congressman, good to have you on the program this morning. Thanks so much.
Good to be with you, Maria. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Louie Gohmert joining us there. Coming up